There are lots of self-employed Nigerian people who have really tight incomes. When I say tight, I mean there's not much wiggle room. You're not earning a lot. And they have questions. Questions about how they can cope, questions about whether they can get into business or not. And that's the reason why I'm making today's episode. So today's episode is not necessarily hardcore sales related per se. Initially, I wasn't even going to make this episode, but I just figured maybe there's someone in the same situation. Maybe you know someone who is in a similar situation. So I'm just here to share that I had a conversation with someone who's a widow recently. And, anyway, this was just a couple of ideas that we bounced about. So just in case there are other people listening to the show, you find yourself in a very, very tight situation. And yes, there are people who do reach out to me. You want to start a business, you want to do this, you want to do that. But, you're only earning 200K a month, or you're only earning this, you're only earning that. Or there's no wiggle room and you're wondering, can I start a business? What kinds of businesses can I start? Things like that. So, basically that's the reason why I'm making today's episode. Now, if you'd like to connect with me, just like this particular person, let's just call her Mommy because she's a much older woman. So if you want to connect with me just like Mommy did, then you can send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. If you're interested in a 15-minute sale audit, then WhatsApp me on the same number, 080-6466-2140. And if you want to join my WhatsApp channel, then WhatsApp me on the same number and I will hook you up. So, back to the topic for today. So like I said now, for those of you who are looking for hardcore sales episodes, you can just go ahead and skip this episode. So, I had a conversation with Mommy. I'm calling her Mommy because, in this part of the world now, when you're talking to anybody who if you're talking to a woman and she's senior you, far, it's not out of place to call her Mommy. So, so I was talking to Mommy now, and Mommy is a widow. She has 2 kids. Unfortunately for her now, her maximum income is 50K. That's all she has every single month, 50K. She's self-employed because what she does is cleaning. Oh, by the way, Mommy called in on my radio show, not the podcast. So, basically, she just wanted to know that, okay, starting a business, what can she do? What are the options, basically? So, this is what I said in return. Now, for someone who is in this kind of situation now, you're alone. The only income that she has is 50K. And see, by the way, by extrapolation, this is going to apply to those of you who are in really tight situations. Like, let's say you want to start a business. But, there's just, there's you and, maybe 2 or 3 kids and, your salary is like, 350 and like there's no room because everything is allocated, as in school fees, fuel, there's food, blah, 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 and things are tight. So the principle is also the same. Now, in her own case, I didn't think it was a good idea to start a business. Now, normally, you guys know that me, I'm very gung-ho about, okay, this thing seems like a good idea. Let's start a business, let's move, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, people have different risk appetites. And it's something I didn't quite appreciate when I was younger. Because I remember one time when, by the way, I'm making today's recording at home and, I'm not using my mic and all that. I'm just recording straight into my phone. So I expect to hear noise in the background. So I remember one time when I was younger, Momsi, cause she worked. I can't remember the organization that she worked for at the time, but she always used to do some kind of hustle. So one day now she said, "Oh, I'm going out," and I was like, "Where are you going?" She said, "You don't need to know that I'm off of my portfolio. I have 1 or 2 contracts I'm trying to put in place." I said, "What is a portfolio?" She raised up her suitcase. She said, "This is a portfolio." I said, and I was like, "Look, I don't have time to talk." That's why she just left the house. Then eventually she came back. And she was happy. I said, what happened now? She said, that I made a killing. It was good. I said, how much did you make? She said the profit on this thing would be 800K. Now, I'm not talking about 800K now in 2025. I'm talking about 800K when I was like 13, 14, 15, as in that was good money. I think that money would have paid house rent for 1 year and, change still remain. And I remember then having a conversation with my mom, like, you woke up in the morning, you went outside, you came back, 800K. Resign this job now, just be going outside and coming back, 800K, 800K, 800K. And she tried to explain to me that my son is not that simple. But I just thought, Mom C is lazy. That's just what I thought, like, Mom C is lazy. Like, she doesn't want to take risks and things like that. So it was not until later on, now that I have my own kids and I kind of understand, like, oh, okay, so this woman is in Lagos, is high alone, she has 5 kids, okay. She went to go and do hustle. She collected 800K, good. If she now resigns, what will happen is the steady flow of income that is coming in every single month, the one will just end. All hope will now rest on this hustle that she's going to go and do outside. And now that I'm on the other end as a parent, and I can see that the risk profile or the risk reward ratio is a little bit different. So I understood. And actually it was kind of like, I think maybe like 2 years that I actually called Momsi when she was in Abuja. I said, look, Mommy, there's a conversation that we had when I was younger that I need to apologize about. And she was like, you've come again. What is it? So I now narrated the story to her. By the time I finished, she nodded her head and she said, now you understand, Abi. I said, yes, and I'm sorry that I thought, that way about you. She said, no, it's okay. You are young. And then we just let it be. So we've made up on that one. So normally I'm a very, now, let's go, let's move. You want to start a business? Let's go. What's the next step? How can we move forward? But honestly, there are some people that are like, in some situations, look, the risk reward ratio, your risk profile, the risk appetite, as in the risk share, just one kind. So perhaps it's not a good move. So I told her that for Mommy, not my own mom now, the older, the widow that I was talking to, I said, look, Mommy, you starting a business now, it's not something I recommend because every single business has risk. So there's nothing that you see. This woman is just earning 50K. So you take out of that 50K because you want to start business. Let's say it's even provisions or something. But then if you don't buy the right kind of provisions, or if you don't stock up the right kind of inventory that people need in the neighborhood or stuff like that, or maybe you even buy the provisions, you make the kiosk, and then maybe at night, all these boys in the neighborhood now, they come and crash, come and destroy this thing and steal everything, like there's risk. So however she's going to be able to squeeze from that 50K and she puts in a business, it's going to, there's a risk that whatever capital she's been able to squeeze out, she might lose it. It's just one of those risks in business. We lose our capital, we lose our time that we've invested into enterprises and things like that. So given her own situation, I figured, man, it's probably not a good idea because there's risk involved. And even for people who are well off, better off, maybe let's say you're earning 500K every single month, but out of that 500K, things are tight, as in there's no room to allocate anywhere. I also wouldn't recommend you going and investing, trying to start a business because there's risk that is involved. Except if you're comfortable that whichever amount of capital you squeezed out to put in the business, you're comfortable with losing it. Like if you lose it, you won't die. Life will go on. If it's that case, okay, no problem. Well, if things are tight, then I don't think you should. If things are this tight, starting a business, I don't think so. And by the way, for those of you who are younger listening to this podcast, the 20-year-olds, the 18-year-olds, the 24, 25-year-olds who reach out to me, I hope you can see the reason why I keep pushing, that now is the time. You are still in uni. Momsi and Popsi are supporting you. You're getting subsidy. Now is the time to try something. Because you try something now and you mess up, it's not that much of a big deal. You are not disappointing a spouse. You are not disappointing your kids. Your parents want what's best for you. So your parents will even be happy that, Kunle done the hustle. They will even be happy. So, you're young. Now is the time. House rent, you don't have to worry. Kids, you don't have. Spouse, your wife won't be angry. Your boyfriend, now is the time. Risk reward ratio, risk profile, balancing risk versus return. profile is different. So those of you who are younger, honestly, now is the time. You're an 18-year-old. You've been thinking about one or two things. You've been listening to this podcast for 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, 2 years. What are you waiting for? Now is the time. As you grow older, things get a little bit much more complicated. So those of you younger ones, you're staying at home in Popsy's house or Momsy's house. Momsy, they front you internet, fuel. You can use Popsy's car, things like that. Now is the time. Okay, so back to mommy now. So, too much risk. Then also, the thing is, even when businesses take off, it's not as if your capital, the income you're going to get will come back immediately. So, you start a business. Sorry, forgive me. Sorry about that. I told you guys I'm at home. So my neighbor is doing some kind of construction work. So that's all that noise you can hear in the background. So it's not as if the income is going to come back immediately you start. So the example I gave was, let's say I start a shawarma business today. Let's say I start it on the 1st of January. It's not as if 2nd of February I'm going to start seeing money back on my shawarma business, because there's a period of gestation. You pay rent for the space, you buy the meat, you print flyer, you hire staff. It will take a while before money will start coming back. So because of the risk and the delayed income, I just thought it was not a good idea for mommy to go ahead. So a practical option for mommy or anybody in that situation, you want to do something, even if you're earning 1 million every month, but you're in that situation where this money is tight, like there is no room at all, that if you squeeze even one kobo, everything will fall apart. What you need to do actually is better job, so you can earn more and then live within your means. Or if you're self-employed like mommy is, then you have to look for more hours. So mommy is making 50K every single month, cleaning for one person. She's not cleaning every single day. So it's tough because cleaning work is hard. But, sorry, one moment. Okay, sorry, a notification came in on my phone. So, cleaning work is hard, but how for do, honestly. So, 50K cleaning for one person. If she's cleaning 2 times a week and earning 50K, if she's able to find another person on the same terms, then, well, it's rough, but at least situation has improved. We'll go from 50K to 100K just by looking at a better job or getting more hours. Now, there's some other options, financial assistance, and then there's skill acquisition. So the idea behind skill acquisition is this. Currently, you have a skill. It's earning a certain amount. That amount is not enough for you. Therefore, you go upskill. You will learn 1 or 2 things. And that decreases your earning potential. So just look at my own family, for instance. So, wifey is a lawyer, just like me. Wifey is interested in finance, unlike me. Wifey wants a career in finance, unlike me. Eventually, she's going to go into consulting, just like me. And then we're going to combine our skills. And we're going to have a powerhouse of a business with my expertise in sales and her expertise in finance. But, sorry, how did I get here? Okay, so you're a lawyer. You're earning X amount. You want to earn more. If you go and learn other skills, like my wife now, skills in finance, she's writing level 3 of the CFA. That's the Chartered Financial Analyst exam. So by upskilling, by acquiring a new skill, you increase your earning potential. So some other lawyers will be outside saying that, this woman is lucky. Meanwhile, it's not luck. It's hard work and some planning. I'm a lawyer in this context. This is how my earning potential is limited. If I take my legal skills and I blend it with skills in finance, then it opens up other opportunities in this and this and that and that. So skill acquisition. Of course, obviously, that kind of skill acquisition doesn't apply to mommy, but still, we were able to look at a couple of options. So on the whole thing of a better job, I told her that it's about talking to people. We just have to start talking to people. Because there's also another person who called in from the radio show. My radio show is the Business Booster show on Radio Maria. And the guy was a driver looking for work. And And I told the guy to send me his CV. To be honest, his CV was not promising at all. But sure, I told him the same sort of thing that I tell those of you who listen to the podcast. You know how I always keep talking about you need a prospecting list in business. A prospecting list just means you're about to start in business and you start thinking about who your potential customers might be, who might have a want, who might have a need, who might be interested in your product or services. You write it down. The reason why I say you write down the names on your prospecting list is because if you don't write it down and you're working from your brain, you're working from idea, you will forget, or you only work on days that you have motivation. But if you write down on your prospecting list that these are 50 people, 100 people, 15 people, 76 people who might be interested in my product or my service, and then you can come up with a plan. Every single day I will talk to 3 people. It's a plan. I have a list of 76 people. I'm going to talk to 3 people every day until I get to the bottom. No how. By the time you get to the end, honestly speaking, no matter how bad you are, 1 or 2 things would have clicked. So I told him it was the same thing. You need to start talking to people. Write it down. Come up with a list. Just like you spoke to me, you need to start talking to other people. Oh boy, how far? I define work. This is the kind of work I'm looking for. You need to start talking to people. And so somebody in mommy's situation, that's what you need to do. By the way, that driver, even though his job was 100K, eventually was able to move to another job that was 150. He was updating me on the progress. Then a month again, he moved to another job and he said that the pay is fantastic. He didn't tell me. But I noticed that he has gone back to school now. He's doing some postgraduate something in, I think it's Naira State University. I can't remember. But I'm thinking, oh, okay, for a driver to even be going back to school. I said, okay, the pay must be all right. And in fact, you can see what he's doing. That's skill acquisition, upskilling. He's tired of doing driving work. He's going back to go and do PGD, postgraduate diploma, to open up some new doors. But the journey began because I was able to get him to start talking to more people. How far? I define work. So just like with sales, who might be interested in my product or my service, this is my solution, this is what I can do, this is how I might help you. You're talking to people, the same thing. So mommy, she needs to start talking to more people. And this one is not a matter of CV, as in conversations, physical conversations with people. Then on the hour of getting more hours, I said that mommy would have to try and get referrals. The person she's currently cleaning for, she can ask, any neighbor, any church person, any whatever who is also looking for a cleaner as well. But it's a matter of conversations, talking to people. So when I give this kind of advice, it's not as if I'm lazy. But honestly, remember there's a communications hierarchy. And that face-to-face communication is the most effective form of communication. For now. In fact, for any foreseeable length of time, is the best way to move an agenda forward. So when you have an agenda that you want to move forward, you need a job. Or you have a business, you have a product you want to sell, you have market you want to move. Honestly speaking, face-to-face. Just like, what do you have to lose? Things are already rough the way that it is with you. Just go on. Talk to people. Then financial assistance. Okay, this one will not apply to lots of you because mommy is Catholic. Not my mom, the other lady. So we discussed a couple of options. I told her about St. Vincent de Paul. Those people, they try and deal with people's sustenance needs. You never chop, those kind of things. Like you need food, you need clothes. St. Vincent de Paul. Then spoke about JDPC. That's the Justice, Development and Peace Commission. That is one of the ministries within the Catholic Church. Well, most parishes anyway. Just the JDPC used to be a thing about lawyers helping people who cannot afford legal counsel. So by the way, assuming you're listening to this now, you have some business basic that you are in and you are not able to, extricate yourself, but you're Catholic, go and talk to your parish priest and tell him that, look, this is my situation. If there's JDPC in your parish and you go there, the lawyers will help sort you out. That's what the whole thing is for. Back when I was in my undergraduate, doing my undergraduate program in OAU, I used to volunteer there So this is also another way that if you have some legal issues in your business, and honestly speaking, you're stranded, you don't know where to go. If you're Catholic, talk to your parish priest. If there's JDPC, just go there. But the reason why I mentioned JDPC to mommy is because initially it started off as lawyers. But then I noticed that different JDPC, what will I say now? Should I say branches? I'll be chapters in different states started doing this skill acquisition thing. Like the lawyers will go and organize somebody to come and train people. This is how you make soap. This is how you make biscuit. This is how you do hand wash. This is how you bake cake. This is how you do this. This is how you make perfume. This is how you do that. So they started doing all the skill acquisition stuff. So I told mommy that, skill acquisition options, they're there. Especially with the JDPC. At least back when I used to work with the one in my local chapter in Lagos, while I lived in Lagos, it was a free something. You didn't have to pay anything at all. Then we also discussed scholarship options for the children through the PPC, that's the Parish Pastoral Council. By the way, if you're not Catholic, my assumption is that whatever church you attend should have something similar, I think. Except if you're one of these, a member of this, what are they called? These big prosperity gospel type churches. In those kind of churches, they don't send you. They only just drop your tithe and then, manifest your destiny. They don't send you. But if you're in different Christian traditions, just go and talk to your pastor. Some of these options are available. So we spoke about stuff like that because, honestly speaking, I don't even know how somebody is paying school fees for 2 kids on 50K a month. I honestly don't know how that's possible in 2026. But even if there's somebody that can just take school fees off the table because of scholarships for the kids, that would be breathing space. Honestly, plenty of breathing space. So these are some of the options. These are some of the things that I discussed with mommy. Again, apologies that this is not a hardcore sales episode today. It's just that, honestly speaking, this conversation really touched me. So let me just come and share in case there are people listening and one or two mommies or aunties who are going through some rough patches. These are some ideas that they can try. But then again, for those of us who are earning higher, earning well, monthly, you're earning, 500K, 700K, 1M, whatever. But giving your cost of living, things are really, really tight. These things also apply. Better job, you can live within your means, get a better job. Or you're self-employed, get more hours, look for more clients. Financial assistance options are available. Although I think if you're earning big money like that, you'll be too proud to beg. So let's just leave that one. Skill acquisition is always an option. For us. So yeah, I'll say that's just it. Oh, before I leave, then next thing, it led, because of the conversation I was having with mommy on the air, it led to some really, really interesting conversations. That's how somebody called to say that he wants to start a business, but the only thing he has is 50K. So I now turned that, and in fact, I got a call from someone after the show saying that he thought what I did was brilliant. But I was just inspired. This is the second time I've done it, actually. The first time, what I did was I went and did the research, then came and told people on air that this is what my research turned up. But I just told people that, look, walk with me now. Let's be moving together. So I asked the guy said he has an Android phone. I said, you have data? The guy said he has data. I said, okay, no problem. So ended the call, and then live on the air, what I did was, because I have my Bluetooth keyboard with me, I just started prompting into my phone and directed people, this is where you download Google Gemini. This is what it looks like. Now that you're done, this is how you're going to prompt. And then we came up with a prompt. Of course, I gave them my simple rules for creating a prompt, which is you say a little bit about yourself, you say a little bit about the context of the problem, and then you ask the question. So in this case, it was, I am a Nigerian living in Abuja FCT. I used to be a farmer, but I've since lost my job. I have 50,000 Naira for capital, and I want to use it to invest in business. What kind of business ideas would be good for me? So that was the prompt. Basically, something like that. I hit send. And then came up with some really interesting ideas. Gemini said, this guy used to be a lawyer, no problem. So take advantage of your existing knowledge capital. So I had to explain that part to the audience. Knowledge capital just means things that you know that most people don't, typically. So I, as a consultant, for instance, especially a sales coach and business development consultant, there's a bunch of stuff I know that lots of people don't know. That's my knowledge capital. Now he, being a farmer, there's some stuff he knows that a whole bunch of people don't know. So Google Gemini said, take advantage of your existing knowledge capital, and with 50K capital, that's capital investment to now start the business. It spoke about some simple things like backyard farming, cloth farming, especially vegetables. It was impressive. It gave a plan about how you can farm ugu and farm water leaf. I know some of you will be shocked, like, do AI tools know ugu and water leaf and bitter leaf? And yes, apparently these things do. They're trained on knowledge on the internet. So long as people have been talking about ugu and water leaf and bitter leaf on the internet, then yes, these tools know about that. It even came up with a budget about how you need to invest X amount in containers, X amount in seeds, X amount in nylon bags, X amount in... It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And I did this live on the air. So, apart from ugu and water leaf, he came up with 5 ideas. I think another idea was dried catfish. And he showed how with, I think, 20K to get 5 heads? I'll be 6 heads. That 20K will give you 5 or 6 heads for the fish, then for the spices, then the oven, not that oven, that thing that you use that charcoal open thing that they use. I think it budgeted 15K for that, but we came up with also an impressive plan for how you can start with just 6 heads of catfish, and how you can start in the business. And like I said, he gave about 5 or 6 ideas, but I thought it was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Not bad at all. The reason why I did that was because I wanted listeners of the show to know exactly what I've been saying on this podcast for a very, very long time. That nowadays, ideas are not the excuse anymore. In 2026, nobody should say you have not started because you did not have idea. That excuse does not work anymore. It does not fly. Because in our pockets, in every single person's pocket, you have a computer in your pocket. Use this thing to generate ideas. People who say AI tools are not perfect. Like, I don't care about perfection. Yes, they might not be perfect for different kinds of things, but when it comes to coming up with ideas, you want brainstorm. These tools are fine. Really, they're fine. 1 prompt, 5 ideas. Are you trying to tell me that of these 5 ideas, the guy cannot try 1 or 2? Nowadays, in 2026, or whenever you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening in 2052, idea is not the problem again. If you're listening in the year 3001, idea is not the problem again. Use these tools. Come up with the ideas. The problem now is execution. Are you executing well? Learn how to execute. And that's the reason why my podcast exists. So that when people are executing, you're trying to put 2 and 2 together from a sales perspective. You want to make sure that everything blend. You're talking to the right people. You're using the right scripts. You're using the right frameworks. You're trying to build the relationship the right way. You're trying to close the deal. That's the whole point of this podcast. That if you're executing from a sales perspective, you execute well. So, anyway, that's it. Let me just end it here, because some of you will be upset that, today I didn't make it a hardcore sales episode. Well, for those of you who stuck through, thanks anyway for listening. Now, applying these principles can be tricky, but if you need me to look at your own particular circumstances, reach out to me. Call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. You're interested in a 15-minute sales audit? WhatsApp me on the same number, 080-6466-2140. If you'd like to join my WhatsApp channel, then WhatsApp me on the same number, and I'll do my best to hook you up. So that's it for today. If you've gotten value from the episode, connect with me. I've given the contact details. So, that's it. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you some other time. And please, as we are growing and progressing in our businesses and in our careers, let's take time out to help people who are economically less fortunate than we are. So, if it's advice we can give them, let's give. If it's money we can help with, let's help. If it's a skill acquisition that we can help with, let's help. So just like in the days of our grandfathers, our grandfathers and our grandmothers, back then it was about, if you come up, you go pull like one or two people up, and those one or two also should pull other people. So like that, let's just be pulling ourselves small, so we can all elevate ourselves out of this situation that we find ourselves in this country. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys some other time.